Hello guys, so welcome to another insightful session on my channel. I'm so glad you've made time to join me once again. So what's good? We are still on the white paper series or white paper convo, and with me here is my brother, and I will let him introduce himself. So we are going to just have a discussion about his F1 visa interview. He's having an amazing story to share with us. So if you're new here, I will plead that you subscribe, you like, and ask your questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to assist you in any way that I can. So let's roll. Ta-da! Energy, energy, energy. All right, guys. So welcome back to this session. So let's set the ball rolling. Yeah. So first of all, I'll let him introduce himself. Then we take it from there. Yeah.
Hi. My name is Martin Osei. I am doing a dual degree here at Eastern in computer technology and sustainable energy. I am currently in my last semester. Hopefully I do graduate. So yeah, I'm excited to be here to share my story.
That's right. So that's my boss, and I would say Martin, not Martin. All right, let's go. So that is an interesting intro that you just gave us, but he's having a very unique story. So that is the more reason why I brought him here, so that he will share his story with us about his F1 visa interview experience. So let's start. Which year did you begin? And also let's start from which year did you begin the process? Yeah.
I like to see that as a very unique opportunity in our lives, to be offered that opportunity to study outside. You can argue about it, you can say it's not a unique one, but I do. It's a milestone. So my first one was, I had my date on the 9th of August in 2019. I remember 9th of August 2019. I think it was a Monday. So I went for the interview. I had prepared. I had prepared.
Let me chip in this. I'll let you come to the preparation and other stuff. But I just wanted to know that the year you began. So his story. Let me just summarize before he comes in to share the specifics, so that you just know how interesting it is. So he has been there 2 times and had it on the second attempt. So the first attempt he was denied, and FYI, he was fully funded. He was fully funded. So what was the reason that caused his denial? We might not be able to give a valid or specific reason, but I want to just share some of the pros and cons, and also some of the things that he thinks that will help you in your preparation, and what he didn't do. Just that's all that we're going to do. So boss, let's talk about your first experience. How was it, your first experience? From your preparation to the main interview.
It was exciting and also terrifying, because I remember being prepared. I studied like my life depended on it. So on the day of the interview, I tend not to speak to anyone because I could see the answers flying in my head. But once I stood in line waiting to go to the consular, everything else changed. It was almost as if I had not prepared, although I knew what I was going to talk about, right? So the consular that people were going to most was a lady, and then about 3 people before me had gone to that same person, because she was kind of going through the people relatively faster. So when they go there, whenever people go to her, she denies them. And mind you, these are 3 people in front of me.
You're the 4th person.
And I'm the 4th person in line to go to her, because she's getting rid of them really quickly. So you can imagine what that would do to you.
The pace was very fast.
It was very fast. So the pressure from she denying people kind of came to me, that, well, you are going to be rejected if you go to her. And because of the pace at which she was going, I had no way of escaping going to her. So in my mind, I had already been rejected even before I went for the interview, based off of what was happening in the moment, the atmosphere.
That's right.
So you can really prepare very well, but you should also know that is why it's advisable you get someone that you really respect to be able to do a mock interview with you.
That's right.
So that you get to know how the atmosphere will be like. And then I'll say, once you're in the room as well, forget about what's going on around you.
That's right.
Whether people are being rejected or not, just focus on
close
what
your
you
ears.
are going to say, because it can be very demeaning.
Yeah.
It can break you.
Yeah. So with the specifics, what were the questions? I mean, she asked you.
Like every other interview, they'll probably ask you what school, the program.
So
and then
with
which
yours
city.
specifically, you were asked.
Yeah, I was asked these three basics: what school, which state the school is in, and what program you are going to do.
And that was it.
And that was it. And I was refused based on that. And I think, like, looking back and thinking back on it, I felt like my confidence was low because I had already prejudged myself that I was going to be refused already. You know, so that's.
Yeah, so that is an interesting story. There, we will come to the recommendations and I mean what the reflections that you've made about this F1 experience. So with the second interview, which year, the preparation, what the question they will normally ask for those who are going for the second time or the third time is what has changed. So what really changed, and what do you think worked for you, and what was the interview experience specifically?
Right. So for my second interview, so the mistake I did with my first interview was a lot of people knew I was going for visa interview, and that alone will bring pressure to you because your family is expecting you to get the visa. So that alone is a pressure, right? So on my second interview, it was only one person that knew I was going into it, right? And that has taken a little bit of that pressure away, right? And then I also prepared because I had prepared earlier. It was kind of like more like a revision and doing more research and going an extra mile on it. And then once I entered the room, because I knew how the atmosphere could potentially look like, I tried to kind of like just leave whatever situation that is happening around me and just focusing on myself. Just thinking about myself, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, my demeanor and everything. I was just trying to control myself in line.
One of my friends, just to chip in, one of my friends normally say that when you get there, there's a TV, there's a TV, then television. Just watch the TV and forget what is happening.
Exactly. So on my second interview,
the interview experience,
second interview experience. This time I was lucky. I went to a man, and then he was really nice. So he asked me what school, I guess, and then who is financing the education, and then what my undergrad was in, what I studied for my undergrad. And then I showed him all the documents that I had with my bank statements and everything. And then he was looking back at the previous interview, the denial that I had, the reason for the denial that I have for the first one. And then he would read and look at me, and then he would shake his head. He would read, look at me, shake his head. He did that for 3 times.
So guys, let me chip in there. Sorry, Simeon. With the reason he didn't have access to it. So just for you to know, not like in US, they don't give you the reason. They give each person that is denied same reason that you were denied under I think article blah blah 214B or something. Yeah. So the same reason. But obviously, sometimes you get to know that, probably there is this issue with the bank statement. And I'm sure as we go on, I'll be sharing insight on some of the things you should know about your bank statement and all those styles before you send it there and stuff. So that is an interesting summary there. And you were approved in that regard.
I was approved.
How many minutes did it take?
If thinking back, I think it took less than 4 minutes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then when he said your visa is approved,
how's the feeling?
in 3 days. I didn't know whether I was supposed to say thank you, look back and just walk away, or just wait for him to say you can leave. Because it was mixed feelings. Because you've been there before, you know how it is. It was just.
So let's just get to the concluding part. So what are some of the experiences, some of the recommendations you make for those who are preparing for their F1 visa interview, those who are fully funded, those who are partially funded, those without funding, from the experience you've gathered so far, dealing with other colleague international students. And just for you to know, he's our international student president here. So he's really a big man, for you to know, yeah. So what are some of the experiences you share with those who are preparing? Yeah.
First off, I would say limit the number of people that know about you going for an interview. That alone relieves you of some pressure because they are expecting you to go and deliver. So that alone brings outside pressure. You know where we come from, not everyone
wants the best for you.
Not everyone wants the best for you. So limiting it to a few people, or even if to yourself, would be something I would advise they do. And then secondly, put in the time to research. Know the program you are going to do. Know the city you are going into. Know, let's say, if the place is a popular place, you know, kind of like an attractive site there, you know, just to be open communications with the consular. You know, just do your research. Know a little bit about the history of the school. I remember I knew EIE's history.
That's right.
How it began and everything.
Teacher training, something, yeah.
You know, you have to, like, you have to know it.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know where the questions will come from. They can choose to ask questions from any angle.
Some even learn the zip code of the county city.
Right. And they can even ask you, which address would you be staying at? I remember in my questions preparing for, I wrote that question down to prepare
for
like
you need to, prepare comprehensively.
As for the preparations, we can't, and then once you are prepared, you have to learn it.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to learn what you have written down.
With the learning, will you advise for them to cram us in our, I don't know if you know these guys, chew and pour, as in cram, like, when they ask you, why this school? I'm going to this school. Would you manage that?
No, it has to be organic. It has to be genuine.
Right.
You have to own your answer.
That's right.
So if you ask me, why do I want to study in the US? I shouldn't just be like, well, US is the best place. They do good programs, and that's why I want to study there. That will tell the consular you have studied and you have prepared for that question. But if you own your answer, why do you want to study in the US? You know, so you'd be like, well, with sustainability, with the way the world is going,
that's right.
There are better research opportunities to study what the climate changes are and contribute your own, like something along those lines.
So if I get you, that means you should have your point, as in the themes in your head, and anytime the question comes, you can craft it or craft it in
you craft it around that place, because you cannot cram. Because the pressure alone will make you forget what you choose.
Just like your view, having the first view that denied, the pace was very intense.
Yeah.
So guys, that is that. So with that, I'll also add that, getting to know some of the reasons. Normally people forget, they wrote SOP, your statement of purpose. You wrote why that program, and even why that school. Just go there, fish out the point. The professor you said you're interested in, go and read about him or her. I'm going to this school because probably mine was, first of all, funding, second, professor, and the departmental program was having different concentrations.
Right.
That was it. So it is so personal and specific.
Very
so your final words?
I would say, as keynotes, I would say own the interview process. Just own it. Don't see it as a normal thing you have to check on the mark in your process. Like, you have to own it. By owning it, I mean take it serious. Like, take it as it's something that you want to do just once and do it really well. Because if you say, well, it's any of the interview processes, I can go and do it any number of times I want. No, you should aim to just,
go for it
once and for all. Just kill it, nail it.
That's right.
And I'll say just, if you believe in a higher power, just pray.
Yeah. The God factor.
Yeah, just pray.
Yeah, so guys, I think that is such an amazing story. So, all right, guys. So thank you so much for making time to join us. So that is all for today. And I thank you so much for passing through my boss. So with the next session, we're going to talk about, those who want to kind of go and do their visa in different, for their visa appointments or visa interview in different countries. Now people are hustling with this date. Getting data is an issue in some of the African countries and some other countries in the world. So I would be hosting a colleague, and he's going to share his experience. How he had his visa approved in different country and how he went about it. And also, I'll be sharing some series of videos on the bank statement issue too. Some of the things you should check before you submit a bank statement to the interview. So guys, that is that. So until then, see ya. Tada! Energy.